I had to come home early today. I actually work on heavy equipment, which makes it kind of dangerous if I'm distracted by a personal problem like what I have when I see a band that steals my songs getting front page coverage from the local newspaper. Something I already talked about in a past video, and I have to talk about it again. And I'm going to talk about it in more detail now because I gather that, I wasn't impressive enough last time talking about it. So what I'm going to do is take you online to my copyright violators page here so that you can just see for yourself what I learned about them in the last few years as I was working on my music. So there's my latest post about Taylor Swift. Here on the statements, you should be able to go to this page. It's called All Offenders, and there's the URL. In this page, you should be able to see all the bands that took my music and see the song that they took by just clicking on the link. Unless it's something a little too remote, as in the case with this guy. Just never got around to re-recording it, but I know he took it. Here we have Blue Rodeo. You see they took more than one song. George Bush, his speechwriter, stole from my blogs. Beyonce, we know about her offense. CNN, there's the comedy sketch that I saw them doing. CNN, privileged information. This thing. I actually saw them acting this out on their news program. Here I've covered him. Here's Buck Henry. I just have the original 4 verses. There's about, I think, another 8 verses missing from it right now that I'd have to write from the middle. And I just don't feel like it, but you can get it from Leonard Cohen now, because he said it's his. You see all the people who ripped me off. Colbert Report. I heard he got his from Jon Stewart, and he didn't know. Coldplay songs. Oh, they didn't take Slings and Arrows. That should actually be up on Blue Rodeo. That's a mistake. Sorry about that typo on that one. Crystalids, and we see how they took quite a lot of songs. It's really something to have to survive a rape of your music like this. There's the Daily Show, some things they took. Dateline NBC took my music for their little presentation, and I understand they used one of my poems too. This was a parody of his movie, but I did see him acting it out. Here's Ellen's offenses, just the ones I know about, but you see she's a multiple offender. Family Guy. Couple from Family Guy here. Actually, they were pretty bad. Tina Fey's Saturday Night Live. This is the speechwriter from George Bush that ripped me off. Georgia Strait took my cartoons. I sent them to them, and they fucking published them without putting my name on it. Matt Greenwell, that's The Simpsons. He used The Veteran for some kind of Remembrance Day thing to plug his movie. Jimmy Kimmel, a couple for him. Conan O'Brien. Anyway, we'll go down to Nickelback here, past all these other ones. Madonna, Bill Maher, Mike Myers. To Nickelback, and you see here we got Fool's Paradise. This song, which they made quite a lot of money from. There it is in my possession. And Nonchalant is another one that they took. You can just get it from the author now. Took all the money for it too. And here's another Rolling Stones. Well, here's Saturday Night Live. This might take a while to get past their offenses. These are all linked into each one of them. You can just go click on them and you'll find it. And yeah, we'll go down to Taylor Swift here, where we have Ooga Beluga that she stole, and Spill Out Your Honey that she stole. I just have a couple lyrics down here. I don't have all the lyrics on the web, but I do have them, as well as the music for it. But, you know, spill out your honey. I mean, whose honey do you think I was writing about if you're going to give a song like that to a woman? What honey are we talking about? Isn't that a kind of sex offense? For a man to write a song that sexual and then you give it to a woman to say she wrote it? Isn't that kind of a sex offense? I think it is. I think it is. Anyway, I'm in my late 50s now. I drive heavy equipment, and then I tend to have a lot of hours where I'm waiting for a trailer to come in, and so I have a lot of hours to put together my verses for my poetry. And last couple of nights I have been writing verses. I had planned on sharing a kind of Christmas serial for you when it's finished, just sharing it a chapter at a time like I did when I first shared it, because this is an all-new poem. This is one that didn't go on to Saturday Night Live because I didn't write it yet. I'm only writing it now. And I'll just read, some of the first chapter of it for you here to give you a sense of how it's going to be. Dilbert C. Bulnack had had a bad night shift, stacking great bins from his perch on the forklift. Bins so constructed to be inexpensive, though on the worker make pains more extensive. He first approached them in his normal style, but soon his stack looked too much like a pile. Then as he struggled to get it to stand well, out from the middle it burst like a bombshell. Popcorns of styrofoam, freed from their prison, twirled in the air with elated derision. They stuck like magnets to his safety glasses as they transgressed the remotest of passes. Excuse me. Forced to dismount or the snowstorm would blind him. Loudly a blow of words rang out behind him, by one whose roar he could easily guess right, with a demand that he soon put the mess right. Bulnack knew best how to sweep out the whole room, using his lift truck as more of a push broom. But his superior barked out the order that broom in hand he should start from the corner. Stray flying specks would delay the job's finish, and what remained of his time would diminish, so that when he to his mount reascended, his precious break time had already ended. On he would have to stack 7 times faster, winding along on the edge of disaster, forced to recall how his load had exploded. Thoroughly would his poor nerves be eroded. I guess that's enough to kind of give you a sense of it. But he's just one character in this. And great name, eh? And I'm good at coining those kind of names like Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. Those kind of cartoonish sounding names. There are several other characters in this. This is just one character in this work. And it would have made a good Christmas serial for you, but if you'd rather spend your Christmas enjoying things that I wrote 15 years ago and that were used to put money into the pockets of thieves, then maybe I should just keep it to myself. Merry Christmas.